Welcome to Something Crunchy. Tyler is homies with Blake. Blake is the older bro of Blair. Blair is married to Tyler, and is a slutty slut.
Welcome to Something Crunchy.
What the hell is crunchy?
Welcome to Something Crunchy.
Alright, back in the studio with TJ and Blade Dunaway. Let's put them up.
Oh, I love that.
How are we feeling tonight?
Brother, I'm frightened for what you have in store for us, but I am absolutely excited to hear about it.
Welcome to Crunchtober. It is our favorite time of year, and you are in for a sexy good time tonight. We're definitely putting the ween in Halloween. Halloween and sex go together as much as Halloween and candy or costumes do. Let's face it, Halloween is hot.
It is. Everybody likes to get slutty on Halloween.
I think it's the sexiest holiday, like edging out V-Day and
It's
New
like
Year's and 3rd, I think.
It's the one night of the week that everyone's like, it's Halloween. Like,
You can bring out that inner hooer in you.
yeah,
That's
and
right.
it's like totally fine.
I'm a bit of a sucker for fishnets, wigs, heels, cleavage, Kit Kats, and all that, and I know Blair is too.
Of course.
Tonight's episode is dedicated to Halloween sex.
Ooh.
All right.
And keep your ween out, because we're starting with some epic stories.
Oh, yes.
With help from Elite Daily and The Cut, let's talk about sex. Let's talk about like some Halloween and like costume sex.
It's going to
like
get
sex
crazy.
stories. Yes.
Yeah, I like it.
So a lot of these stories, again, are from female perspectives, which means they were written better. But it's just
You
funny.
can
It's just
tell a
funny.
difference.
Oh, you can. I went as Tommy Pickles to a college party a few years ago, freshman year, so I was scandalous. And I went all out in a blue crop top in a white adult diaper. Yes, I went to a football house party wearing some CVS brand Depends with some sheer skin tone tights I borrowed from a much smaller dancer down the hall. I was out and about doing my thing when I saw a cute, shy guy from my class walk past me. I immediately jumped at him, made my bold, fearless, way too intoxicated move. He was wearing all black and dressed as a robber, wool black hat, black face paint, black gloves even. I was able to smooth talk my way into us making out by the keg.
Get it, girl.
Eventually, I took him back to my room. It's a tad fuzzy on what happened the rest of the night, but some key highlights include him sexually trying to remove my pants, only to remember that I was in fact wearing an adult diaper, and me struggling to take off the tights that I had borrowed from a girl half my size. My next memory involves him having sex with me and looking at me horrified, not understanding why there was black smudges all over my face, forgetting he was wearing black face paint. Then I was looking for paper towels and had to end up using the adult diaper that was previously on my body as a facial napkin. Long story short, I have successfully seduced someone while wearing an adult diaper and used it to wipe my face after having sex.
Oh,
Bravo.
well done.
Well played, madame.
A lot of these first few have to do with face paint. That's kind of the common theme here.
See, yeah, that you don't think about that when you're getting ready and trying to be in the character.
I was also not expecting a female to be Tommy Pickles.
Right?
I was expecting...
Creative.
I thought this
and
was
original.
a
See, most of the
fella's
time
story.
we don't know anything about any of these people when you tell stories.
That's right.
So it's like we don't. Is it male? Is it female? Then you're like, I like sometimes when you like immediately have an idea if it's like one
You
or
get
the
to-
other.
you get to
You're
know.
like, yeah,
Because you listen to the story a little differently.
I would do.
This one is from a guy. I don't think they're all from female. I
Okay.
think this is like the one dude story. I decided to be a clown for Halloween one year, which immediately was my first mistake. Whoever wants to hook up with a clown.
Oh no.
I maybe
Never.
overdid it because I went full face paint and everything with a white face, big red lips, and
No.
big eyes.
No.
Naturally, I was scaring most people away, except for one girl who seemed almost too excited about my costume. We were dancing, getting up close and personal, and we all know how disgusting college basements can get. I kind of let the fact that I was wearing face paint slip my mind, and the girl didn't notice in this dark-ass basement. At least I had hoped not. We started to hook up, left the party to go to her place through the basement door, And as soon as we walked under one of the streetlights, you could just see the mess I left all over her face. It was a strange mix of colors. And naturally, they were mostly around her mouth, neck, and face. Because I was pretty embarrassed and didn't want to spoil the mood, I decided not to bring it up. We were
best if I don't tell her.
We were walking back to her house, and of course, we ran into a bunch of my guy friends, and they had a field day. Poor girl ran home, and I went home that night a sad clown. Only to find my personal door was locked because someone decided to have their own little get-together in my bed. I was banging on the door, trying to get someone's attention, but no one was responding. And I didn't hear any noise. I went around to my first floor window and found it wide open. I climbed in, only to find my bed completely disheveled, with part of a girl's deer costume and some denim jean jacket in it. As if I wasn't grossed out enough by what probably went on in my bed, I turned on the lights to find drops of blood all over my sheets.
Oh, no.
One of my neighbors told me the next day that he saw a guy and girl drunkenly climb and fall out of my window and run off.
What?
To this day, I still have no idea who the infamous Bambi was.
Oh,
Wow.
my God.
I'm flabbergasted.
That night just like took a huge turn.
Wait. What I don't understand here is how did the blood get inside
If you got cut leaving.
if they fell out of the window and that's when they hurt themselves?
No one said that they hurt themselves getting out. That clearly was. That's what you took from it? That's what you took from it.
I mean,
Just
I took
in
a lot of
regards
things from
to
it,
the-
but that's just the part of the story where I
blood
was
could be
like,
in it.
how did the blood get on the inside? Unless it was...
There was
You're
people hooking up in his bed,
Yeah.
and instead of leaving through the door, they
Right.
jumped out the window.
Right.
The blood is from the sex.
Oh, man.
I hate to ruin that story for you, and I feel like I'm
There's no other way to tell
breaking
you.
virgin ears here.
People are going to start thinking we're not a family show.
Now it feels dirtier than it is.
Just had
Damn
to
it.
come out and just say
Yeah.
it.
Why couldn't you just get it?
Like, you just-
Sophomore year of college, my roommates and I dressed up like Disney princesses. I was Ariel. Being a natural brunette, I used aerosol hair paint to achieve the fire engine Little Mermaid red. That night, I went home with a dude and woke up to find red paint everywhere. On his sheets, his walls, all over our hands and our bodies. It took almost an hour of scrubbing to get it off, and my shower looked like the murder scene from Psycho. We dated for 5 months after that.
he was kind of into it. We had a great time. I'm just saying.
Maybe buy a red wig right afterwards.
Kind of became our thing.
He only liked redheads. And in the morning, he was like, I'm into it for 4 or 5 months, but you got to get a wig.
And we're doing this whole aerial thing
Yeah.
once a month.
Flopping around in the bathtub got old really quick, apparently. It was 2006, just before Britney went full on umbrella crazeballs.
Yep.
I needed a cheap and easy Halloween costume, so I threw on a strapless swimsuit cover-up, some horrible Uggs, and aviator sunglasses. Under the dress, I wore one of those Spanx tube dress undergarments over a throw pillow, which made for a pretty realistic-looking hump. True story, buying a six-pack on the way to the house party, I was asked by a woman in the checkout line when I was due, go Idaho.
Oh, I know.
But once I stretched the Spanx over the pillow, there wasn't much left to cover my crotch. If I had known I was going to see an old hookup at the party dressed as a pirate looking hot, I might have gone as, oops, I did it again, Brittany. He rubbed my belly. We got shitty drunk and conspired about where to sex it up.
Ooh, it still worked.
Get your pregnant ass upstairs, he whispered. Even though the upstairs was off limits, there we went. I pulled up my
Rebel.
dress, climbed on top of him, shoved the baby bump aside. I tried to kiss him over the bump, but it was too cumbersome. So instead, we just started fucking with our costumes intact. Then a knock at the door. I shushed my pirate, hoping the interloper would just leave, but nope. The door swung open. It was the host and hostess of the party. I will remember that moment for the rest of my life. Two friends standing over me, laughing in horror, while I, pregnant Britney Spears, humped a hot pirate on the floor with the goddamn lights on. They still tease me about it.
Should go. Oops, I did it again, Brittany.
You can always just blame it on, I was crazy Brittany. What the fuck? You know?
You just gotta go deep into the costume.
I'm a method costumer.
Good costume.
That's
That
really
is
good.
a great story.
That's a great story.
That's a great story.
Crunchtober, full effect.
I'm loving Crunchtober already, by the way. I'm so excited.
I went as the Twitter bird. Blue wig, blue dress, covered in feathers, Twitter tee around my neck, bird beak on my nose. I was monster mashing to I Want Candy when a guy dressed as Super Mario pointed to the door and said, I'm going to go in there. Meet me in 5 minutes. When I walked in the room, I shouted, it's me, Mario, because I'm erotic like that. We hooked up in there, feathers everywhere, like an avian crime scene. When we were done, I zipped my J. Crew chest back up, took a cab home. I was really proud of myself for successfully repurposing a bridesmaid dress.
Bridesmaid's dress. Very successful.
It seems real easy for people to have like one-nighters if you're dressed up as somebody else.
Yeah.
That seems to be the common theme. Just
Everybody
dress up
is
as
loosey-goosey on
Yeah.
Halloween.
I have crazy Halloween sex stories myself. I can make this episode of my own sex stories.
I'm
from
not
Halloween
prepared.
night?
Haunted house sex. I had sex dressed in drag like a woman with a girl.
the girl.
Oh, with the girl.
You boinked her. Got caught. I was only wearing this giant banana costume and couldn't even really
You
take
and
that off. And got
bananas.
caught.
Just about to say, you got a thing
Bananas.
with bananas.
It's,
Yeah.
it's coincidence, but yes, there's apparently a thing with bananas. So my stories run deep with Halloween sex. My sophomore year of college, back when I was a chain smoking vegetarian and weighed like 100 pounds, I bought a children's
God.
Tigger costume at Walmart. I think it was supposed to be subversive, drinking and smoking while dressed up as a children's character. The kind of thing that feels transgressive when you're 19. My boobs look pretty big in that child-sized top, though.
Oh my God.
And I won my ex back that night. He was dressed as a dinosaur. And somewhere in that blur of pot smoke, he said he was still in love with me. I don't remember how I got out of the tiny costume, but I don't think I wore it during sex. We stayed together another year. Then he broke my heart and kind of ruined college for me.
Oh. God.
I thought this was going to be like a real happy ending here. Like he decided to be
See,
my Winnie the Pooh.
You can't
and
go thinking it's always going to end well.
best
'cause
friends married forever after that. No,
No,
he
this
broke
is
my
real.
fucking heart.
Broke my heart, ruined college. Stole my cat.
Andrew in my life. Thanks.
I was Pop of Snap, Crackle, and Pop. My hookup was Fred Flintstone. Fred's roommate kept saying hop on pop, and tap snap, and tackle crackle. It was stupid. And we ended up not getting with any hookups that night. Crackle Peter leggings on the way back to the dorm, though.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Damn it, Crackle.
You ever? I mean, I've been in plenty of couple costumes, but I've never been in like a trio. You know, ever done a trio costume
No.
before?
I've done a trio.
A quad and a couple, but never trio.
I think in
Trio's
college
tough.
I was a trio.
Yeah, I bet
That was after the party.
I bet Blair was in a couple trios
Yeah.
in college. That's easy to believe.
Menage a trio.
I said it all like, oh my gosh, yeah. I was totally a trio
I
in
was in a
college.
trio one time.
Lots of trios.
Tastes funny.
I had just landed in Australia and I had no costume. But some people I met in the hostel elevator insisted I go out. Things happen in hostels when you're 22. They took me to the
sure.
bathroom, wrapped me in toilet paper, and called me a mummy. As soon as we got out to the club, they abandoned me.
Oh.
With the toilet paper rapidly disintegrating off my body. I was finishing my drink and preparing to leave when a guy comes over and starts flirting. Within the hour, I'm on my way to his apartment, ripping the remaining toilet paper off as we walk. It was a good hookup. Except he did the shocker without any warning. I was actually shocked. But it also felt nice. I mean, he totally should have asked, but I guess he got lucky because I actually enjoyed it once I got over the initial shock.
Ma'am.
If she's already wearing toilet paper, you don't need to ask.
You give her like a quick feeler around the area.
Yeah.
If she
If
doesn't
you're wearing
pull
toilet
back,
paper to the club, you're probably thinking she's up for the
She's-
shocker. Like, this is,
Yeah, or just straight up in the backside.
we're all being wild.
I'm clear for takeoff here. I was in the offensive costume phase of my life when, at age 19, I decided to make fun of goths. In this ghastly attire, I attended a frat party full of sexy cats and naughty angels. The only boy willing to speak with me was a pledge sidelined from the festivities because his arm was in one of those right-angle arm casts. Weakest member of the herd. My
the
costume...
injured one. I'll take that one, I guess.
My costume had gone method. I was the pallid outcast of my own derision. Starved for attention, I drank as many beers as he could pump with one hand, then followed him home and smeared my disgusting makeup all over him in this tiny twin bed, his arm propped up at a right angle the whole time. When I retired to the bathroom for a black lipstick tinted puke, I caught sight of myself in the mirror.
Oh,
I
that
had
was not
truly
good.
become a self-destructive goth train wreck. Beware of Halloween. Make believe is dangerous.
It's hilarious.
Sometimes it becomes reality. That poor girl.
I was Rosie the Riveter in a dowdy denim jumpsuit that somehow managed to be both mom jeans colored and Eurotrash ugly. Lots of
That's a combo.
lots of elastic scrunchies and unnecessary zippers. With a bandana and had too much cheap red lipstick, I was frumpy fupa mess. But I went to a party,
The wrong mom jeans.
danced my ass off, and went home with a hunk who made his own loft walls out of what must have been plywood-colored tissue paper. The walk of shame was trying to find the right door. I couldn't tell which was the front door, bathroom door, his roommate's door. All the DIY loft doors looked the same. Afterward, I tried to date him, but he turned out to be anti-Semitic. What the fuck?
I didn't pick that up from the beginning.
All the doors make sense.
You didn't get it from the doors?
Explains everything.
All right, last one. Sometimes the real scare happens after Halloween. Dressed as the Hamburglar, I once made out with a vampire who later turned out to be a skeezy raver, skater, burnout, total douche. Jinko jeans, wallet chain.
Nice.
I spent several years running into him, always wearing a giant candy necklace and other nonsense. So this is my Halloween hookup PSA. Be careful whom you take home in costume, because you might get a surprise when you see them out of costume.
This is just a normal day for you, isn't it? You wear this all the time.
And with that said, let's take a break.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to Something Crunchy, and I hope you're enjoying the episode. It now pays to crunch down every week because we're hooking you up with big discounts from big brands. Up to 35% off Invicta watches using code CRUNCHY, and apparel from 8080, where in addition to 10% off using code CRUNCHY, every dollar you spend goes toward an entry into the Dream Car giveaway. Don't forget to join the Something Crunchy Facebook group for updates, polls, and the web's crunchiest memes. You can find us on Twitter at crunch_cast, and feel free to send any questions in your track submissions to somethingcrunchy@gmail.com. Now, let's get back to the show.
And we're back. Stories are fun.
No, those are good stories.
Guilty
This
is charged
evening.
with the stories.
Halloween stories, and I've been setting you
Yeah.
up for gold there. Everybody's got it crazy.
Crunchtober puts out.
stories.
Sure does.
Always.
Let's get into some movies.
Yes. Horror movies? How are we
Yeah,
doing?
yes. We got
Sexy
we got to start
movies,
talking.
or
I want to keep a vibe right now. Where it's all Halloween sex. So
Ooh, sticking with the sexy
we'll get
vibe.
into scream queens, like sexiest individuals.
Okay.
But right now, I want to work more on ensembles, if you will. Let's talk
Oh.
about the sexiest scenes in horror movies, and
okay.
or just sexiest horror movies themselves. I don't want to make a big thing about it.
Okay. Just open discussion.
Like when I say, like, what's the sexiest horror movie? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
Species.
Tyler,
To my mind, I mean, just
that was so easy for
Tyler
him.
had that
Easy.
like locked and loaded.
It's
And
easy.
species.
and Natasha.
Thinking of a number between 1 and species.
It's easy for Tyler.
Species gained quite a cult following during its release, and since then has had 3 more sequels. The critics were not happy with
Everybody
the
likes
sex
Species.
horror thriller. I mean, she goes around having sex and murdering everyone who crosses her path. It was hot.
So good.
Who's not going to be into that?
It was hot.
If you've seen Species, like
Yeah, if you saw it as a
forever
kid,
enjoy it.
that could have been your first like horror crank.
Oh,
It was, and that was right in that like first
Horror
era
crank.
of like was
That's
was
something.
Poison Ivy? Does that count as a horror movie? It's probably not a horror movie.
More of a suspense.
Jamie Presley.
Was
Listen,
that your
Alana.
horror crank?
It was a suspenseful crank, that's for sure.
If The Crush counts as horror, and probably doesn't,
That's Alicia Silverstone.
sure is.
Sure, yeah.
Kind of.
Sure is.
Kind of
a
suspenseful.
thriller. It's a thriller.
It's a thriller.
That's a hot movie.
Yeah, it was.
A popular one on a lot of lists is Antichrist, and you just hate to bring it up in this one because
I don't know
just
if I've ever seen
there's
that.
just the nastiest things that happened later. But like the opening scene of Antichrist is filmed extremely graphic and has porn star body doubles for Willem Dafoe and I forget her
It's
name.
Willem Dafoe getting it on.
Yes, actual penetration is seen. Like
Wow.
it's really like porn stars going at it. The whole first scene is
There's a lot of porn. You don't
full
even get actual
penetration.
penetration.
Yeah.
I know.
I know.
You don't have to tell me.
Lived in Europe for 6 months. Didn't see penetration once.
Blair, what's like on your Mount
See?
Rushmore of sexy like horror movies?
I thought it was Swim Fan.
I knew it.
You were thinking she was gonna say Swim Fan?
Yeah, she's a
You knew I was gonna
big
say
fan
that?
of the swim fan.
I got a thing for pools. What am I going to say?
Pool sex.
That had,
She's
Pool
into it.
sex.
that had a
It gets
couple
me.
steamy
Yeah.
scenes.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Now
It seemed like it was like, I guess it was a younger crowd, but it seemed more realistic.
there were parts where I was like, yeah, I could get into her, and then there were
Little
some scenes where I was
crazy.
like, God, she's just not doing it for me. I get why you liked
Well,
it.
they don't usually gear to, like towards the female audience. Most horror movies are like all the
It's true.
sexy gals rubbing all over. That's why I feel like
It's
Swim
typically
Fan
true.
gave like a little bit of both, for everybody.
Just like a little bit.
Something for
Just like
everybody.
a little Jesse Bradford for me. A little Swim Fan for you.
Erica Christensen. I like how you just called her Swim Fan.
Swim Fan. You
Swim
know what
fan.
you know what I meant.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
That curly haired big eye
fan.
girl.
And Swim Fan for you.
You know, Swim Fan.
Erica.
Jesse Bradford and Swim Fan. Let's talk about Chris Hemsworth and Anna Hutchison in Cabin in the Woods, the 2012 one.
Oh, yeah.
That had a little steamy scene in the jungle there. That got kind of hot. Cabin in the Woods became famous for its dark and compelling story, but another thing that the movie caught a lot of attention for was its sexy moments. Most of it featuring that Anna Hutchison, who is
Just tasty.
she really
And
is.
it always goes down in the woods.
The sexy moments in this film are awkward and erotic at the same time.
Oh, that's my personal favorite.
Love it when it's real awkward.
In the scene that takes it
Awkward
all
and
over,
erotic.
and it just peaks at that like jungle bone.
Ooh,
That
we need to watch
awkward
that again.
jungle bone. Yeah.
Bust that one, dust that one
I must have
off.
fallen asleep through the jungle bone. I don't remember that at all.
I was like, it's right up my alley. I
Wait a
feel like
minute.
I would have remembered that.
There was a jungle bone scene and I missed it?
Damn it.
How was I doing?
How'd you walk out during the jungle bone? It's like the best part. Do you want to bring up Piranha 3D or should I?
I mean, it's one of my faves. It's got the best underwater 3D lesbian sex scene I've ever seen.
You showed us that just the other day. And
Probably the best scene.
it still holds up.
Yeah, it's 15, 20 years old now, and that movie still gets me right in the happy spots.
It looks like
Oh, does it? Right, the whole happy spots.
sex does sell, and no other movie does it better than the Piranha movies. It's almost like softcore porn like just a lot of gore and fun. The marketing of the first Piranha film was absolutely brilliant. And as this blood fest sci-fi was promoted like the coming of age fun comedy, that's how we got the sequel. And yeah, like you said, that scene just is worth it by itself. But as a movie in its entirety,
It was pretty good too.
it's pretty fucking hot.
Yeah.
A lot of titty.
And if we're going,
Lots of Havasu titties.
if we're gonna let this count as like in the horror comedy genre, we got to bring up Club Dread.
Oh, it's on my list.
Penelope.
Club Dread.
She's pretty hot.
I mean,
Brittany Daniel.
why don't we just
her
go in that
name?
old
Mhm.
mausoleum?
Yeah. The opening scene.
Yeah,
Hot trio.
hot trio, funny in a hot scene. God, when she grabs that sword on the way down, falling off the cliff. Ugh, every time gets me.
Just
Hate
like
that. Hate that. One of my favorites was Cabin Fever. It's like being on a
You
plane.
in the woods.
Yeah, well, Cabin Fever, that like was a really hot scene
Something
to
about
turn into a
cabins.
really gross scene.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what I mean?
No, I do remember. I was just thinking about that. And
Boy
then,
Meets World is on the bed.
yes.
And he starts
What do you do?
getting handsy with this girl who's like
Skin
moaning,
is-
but really she's like hurting because she's like her skin's
like
falling
getting
off.
ripped off, and he's trying to diddle around.
And he pulls out this hand. It's full of blood, gore, and cheese, and like,
Ugh.
removes the blanket, and it's all just. That was a graphic scene, but it was super hot until that happened.
He was like, "Man, she's really into this.
Look at her.
Flip
She
flopping.
loves it.
She loves
She
it.
got magic fingers right now. She's dying from this.
Yes,
She's really
exactly.
screaming for help, but she's so into it.
Jennifer's Body's on just a lot of lists,
Oh,
just
Megan
for Megan
Fox.
Fox alone. I mean, it's the type of movie you need to see a lot to appreciate.
I'm sure you would say that. No, I
Yeah.
just feel like I need to watch those a few more times.
Well,
to
there's like
really
a-
understand.
3 dozen times.
There's a
Really get
steamy Megan Fox, Amanda Seyfried makeout sesh.
it. Oh, I'd watch that.
So people are
It's
into
a fun
it.
makeout sesh.
Yeah. Speaking of, does Wild Things count?
I don't think it does.
No, more of a thriller.
Yeah. I thought
Less of a
about Wild
horror.
Things, but
That pool scene, something else.
yeah, it was.
That pool scene is
What about
so-
like the blood orgy from
We have a
American
thing for pools, apparently.
right? What about the blood orgy from American Horror Story Hotel? Would that count? Even though it's a show? I guess we're talking
Oh.
movies.
But it's an orgy.
It had to be brought up. Honorable mention.
It's an
Halloween
honorable
sex.
mention. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you can't really give it the mark of the beast without the nipple. You know what I mean?
It's all about the nipple.
Yeah, without the nip, it's just. I mean, it's,
Can't allow it.
No, you're honorable, but you are not on the list.
That kicks Swim Fan off the list.
It does. I don't remember. That was completely nip free.
There's no nips in Swim Fan.
Yeah, that was rated PG nip free.
That is PG nip.
That's too bad. They should make a remake.
They should. Nip fan.
Nip Fan.
Finally.
Jason Goes to Hell was a terrible movie.
Yeah.
But
And yet it's on this list.
The
yeah,
best
it-
thing about the Jason movies is you're usually good for a pair of titties or two.
at least it's just all about the woods.
Guaranteed like a little titty.
Planet Terror, that kind of got hot. That had some hot scenes. Planet Terror, that should work. That was in
I
the
haven't seen this one.
Yeah, Planet Terror.
that
Tell me
was
about Planet
the
Terror.
Grindhouse.
Oh yeah.
There's
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there's the Kurt Russell one, Death Proof, and then the Planet Terror, Rose McGowan with a gun
Oh,
for her leg.
yes.
The zombie one,
Saw it. I know
Saw
exactly
it.
what you're talking about.
Rose McGowan.
Rose McGowan.
I will hold my Rose McGowan
That is
comments
not what I
for the
think
next
of.
segments.
I mean, a few things come to mind of Rose McGowan, obviously, but you know where I'm going.
Save it.
Save
it.
Save it, Sid.
I'm saving it.
Yeah, Planet Terror, erotic and horrific. That was awesome. And she was like a go-go dancer. Her ex-lover tried to fend off the zombies.
Yeah, that was fun.
They had to replace her leg with a machine gun.
I was called
So
that
hot.
Grindhouse. That was something different, right?
Yeah.
That was totally different. I always thought that was Grindhouse.
Well, no, it is. Grindhouse presents the double
The two
feature,
films.
Death Proof, Planet Terror.
So
I just called it Grindhouse.
Yes, and
They're
yes.
all Grindhouse.
Yeah.
Do you see Grindhouse?
I just call it Grindhouse.
Has anyone mentioned From Dusk Till Dawn?
I was thinking.
I
From Dusk
was
Till Dawn.
thinking that I knew of you and Selma Hayek. I knew I
Me
have
and Selma
From Dusk
Hayek.
Till Dawn because of Selma Hayek.
If I had $1 for every time I've seen that scene from Dusk Till Dawn, I'd have like $1,000.
I knew that was going to make your list.
Of course, it was going to make my list. It's hot as hell. I don't even know if it was a horror movie, but we're just going to count it for Selma.
Just so that we can bring it up right now.
I loved it.
What about, I don't even know if I've even seen all of this, but Witches of Eastwick with like Cher, Susan Sarandon, and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Wow.
Taking it way back.
Digging deep.
The
Like
deep
a different
cuts.
kind of
Yeah,
sexy
kinda-
Halloween.
I kind of remember that.
You know?
I remember some legs, and it was pretty hot.
I remember some legs.
Like it's been a long time since I've seen that, but
That's what you took from it. I definitely remember some legs.
Susan Sarandon, she still holds up.
I love Susan Sarandon. It's my kind of girl. Halloween or not, I'm into it.
I was a little afraid of the horror movies growing up as a kid. It gave me nightmares. So
You were only child.
Aw,
yeah,
I
no,
forced him down Blair's throat.
so
You
true.
didn't have anyone to do that to you.
no, I was just too scared of them. So I went the other
In the
way with
beginning,
it. But I like the idea. So when USA's Up All Night came on, do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
I believe it was hosted by Cassandra Peterson, Elvira.
On the list for hottest scream queens.
Yeah. Oh, as she should be.
It should be number one because she's
So
amazing.
hot.
And I didn't even
She's like
I
OG.
couldn't tell you one thing that happened in any of the movies, but I'll tell you all about Cassandra Peterson as Elvira. And I was like, ooh, she's back.
Don't remember the movies per se, but like she is definitely on the Mount Rushmore of chest.
Exactly.
Oh, of course.
And she would pop in,
Legendary.
every 20 minutes before a commercial and just do a little 30-second preview of what's coming up next. But her, persona, her persona was so smart.
Oh.
I was hooked like smack as a 7-year-old.
I was expecting you to say American Psycho.
There's some sexy scenes in there, but that was one of those movies that kind of makes you feel bad because it's so gritty.
You like almost
So
feel bad
gritty.
for finding it sexy.
Yeah,
like I'm almost like too dirty to.
it makes me ill.
And it's comedic. It's like those parts are really funny too. But it's on a lot of lists. So is
There
Suspiria.
was some great boobs in there, and some sexy scenes. It was just
You got your
hard.
nip.
Got your nip.
What else is on your
Got
list?
your classic nip.
Classic nip. Lots of cheese.
Check.
Some bush.
A little bit of bush.
Mr. Skin actually has like a favorite horror movie scenes DVD or digital download
The director's
of some
cut?
sort. Yes. Back in 2016, they put out that puppy. And like they did a lot of that work for us, but like they go back and like there's a lot of Reanimator, original Friday the 13th, like talking about some Coney taters.
Yeah. Some Coney taters.
Drew Barrymore in Doppelganger. I need to see that, but she's on my Scream Queens list.
Well, I love Drew Barrymore, so.
There's a lot of The Gift. Katie Holmes, The Gift. Hour and 28 minutes in. What was that? Harold and Kumar.
Chesticles. I saw that in the theater. I was
You
huge.
get full chest.
Oh yeah, and let me tell you,
That was a real gift.
it was. She does not disappoint. The only reason why we went to see that movie is because we heard that she was topless in a scene, and that was worth the $27 for admission.
They knew what they were doing.
See, this is what I'm saying. They're definitely geared way more towards you. Like, they're not like, ooh, in this year's Thriller, you get a little bit of just the tip.
You get Jack Black's tip. Is that what
This
you want to see?
Halloween costume brought to you with like full tip.
Mr. Skin also has Christina Ricci on here in Afterlife. And we have some My Bloody Valentine. Ooh, Charlize in Devil's Advocate.
Yeah. Oh,
What does she show? These are all boobs?
I don't know. This is Mr.
Just
Skin's.
sexy.
I didn't see the Mr. Skin classic from 2016 we're discussing. Just got a little research here for you, Blair. Wait.
I don't know
One
why.
boob or two boobs?
I don't know why all
What
of
it
a
look
sudden I
like?
became like so interested. I'm like,
Was she
wait.
into it?
I
What
think
exactly
there was
is this showing?
implied nudity with Charlize in Devil's Advocate. Mostly ass. Lots of leg.
Ass.
I think she was laying on like a
Show them
chaise
legs.
on a lounge chair.
Chaise.
Got some idle hands on here.
Oh my God.
Kelly Monaco's.
Jessica Alba.
Jessica Alba.
That was where I like fell in love with Jessica Alba
Yeah, that's where
So
everybody
cute.
fell in love with Jessica Alba.
and those little cotton panties, little tiny spaghetti strap.
Really did it for you
top.
there, huh?
Spaghetti strapping convert. You know the exact word. I was like,
Let's call
he
that
knows
Tyler's
this so well.
First favorite scream queen.
Yeah.
And we'll
I'd
just
like to
transition.
nominate Jessica Alba,
It will just transition smoothly into.
the Queens.
Yeah, we seem to want to be getting into the queens.
Yeah.
I mean, we brought up Rose McGowan,
We did.
and the first thing I think of her from is Scream, which
no.
means Drew Barrymore has to be in there. The first thing Blair thinks of her in is Jawbreaker,
Yes.
which means we also need to bring up Rebecca Gayheart
Yeah,
because she is an
yes.
urban legend
Ooh, yeah.
and
Yes.
Jawbreaker.
Great
so
hair.
Those are some Scream. Great hair.
Great hair.
Okay, let's slow down. We're going too fast.
Hold the phone.
We need to have
We've
a
already
conversation
gotten to
about that
hair.
hair.
Wait a minute.
So there was a lot of 90s styles that were bad.
Yep.
That should stay in the 90s. And like a lot of that was hair. But there was some good hair too, guys and girls. And
She like let those curls flow and
Was that a perm?
no.
was that a perm?
That's
what,
probably
what was that?
natural.
Really?
Yeah, I bet so. I bet it like fixed up a little bit, but I think that's mostly natural.
She did a little beauty mark thing too going on.
You like that, huh?
I liked her. When we first started doing this segment, the first names that came to my mind was Jessica Biel, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake, hottest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So hot.
So hot.
It was
She
the
is
worst
hot,
movie
actually.
ever, but God, was she hot in that.
Made it worth watching.
Now, here's a question. The other first one I thought, and Blair's going to jump all over this, was Sherry Moon Zombie.
Oh,
Now, Sherry Moon,
absolutely.
so hot and so
Love
horror, but she is not
Sherry Moon.
a scream queen.
Nope, she's not.
She's not. She's on the other end.
Yeah, she's on like the terror side
She's
of
making
horror.
scream queens scream.
True.
Yeah.
So she is not a scream queen. But, well,
But she should be mentioned just as
she was in the
horror
Halloween
queen.
remake, not in that role. Like she played
Yeah.
the mom.
Mom, which I loved.
Honorable
I just-
mention.
I think we'll allow it.
I
we
like
should
it.
allow it. She's
Sherry Moon's so
I
damn hot.
just love her.
So damn hot.
Love her.
And of course, Cassandra Peterson's on the damn list.
Of
Mistress of
course.
the Dark, Elvira. You kidding me?
Like she wouldn't be on the list.
Like when you think about like horror and sexiness, like that's kind of just one of the
Elvira's
first places your
OG.
mind goes.
She made it like begin the sexy.
I've had an L
She made
boner
Scary,
for her
yeah.
since
She
the
made
80s.
scary sexy.
She did. She made Scary sexy. I'd like to nominate Neve Campbell.
Now, someone needed to do it, but I'm so glad it wasn't me. Let me tell you how she was not on my list. Of all the women from Scream, she is like, she just,
You just don't think she should have been in that role.
You didn't like Sid?
it's just not my favorite.
Yeah.
Not my favorite. No, she needed to be nominated.
She had to be on the list.
I mean, Blair wants her on the list.
I only
mean,
say her
I
to
liked
bring up
her.
her little sister from Party of Five, Jennifer Love Hewitt, in I Know What You Did Last Summer, and all the sequels.
No, that's a clear choice.
Tyler has
No.
a thing for Jennifer Love Hewitt.
I like
Well,
big
don't we all?
boobs. I don't know.
Don't we all?
I wonder what it is about her.
The true
that we
scare
love.
would be if he didn't.
Exactly. Like, no, that doesn't do anything for me. You need to get your head checked.
Jennifer Love Hewitt obviously is on this list.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. Two huge obvious reasons. Jennifer
Big, full, plump, juicy, obvious reasons.
I mean, so if you're gonna do it, Sarah Michelle Gellar, because both I Know What You Did Last Summer
Obviously.
and The Grudge, but I'm not going to say Buffy because the real Buffy was from the movie.
I would
And
take Christy Swanson.
Christy Swanson,
Thank you very much.
tippity top of the list.
That's right.
Really?
Oh my god!
Yes.
Top
Yes.
of the list. Both of you agree?
Top 3 for me, for sure.
The show was not even a quarter chub compared to the like full,
2.5 full chubs.
blowout
Yeah.
of the movie.
Wow.
She's in those like workout pants the whole time.
Uh-huh.
The like
The whole time.
whole time.
I saw it in the theater. Almost yacked in my pants.
You could see Donald Sutherland's
They knew what
chub
they were
the whole
doing with
movie.
those pants. They're like, no, keep the pants the whole movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're never taking those pants
Yeah,
off.
they saw her in one scene. They're like, yeah,
Keep the
Christy, wardrobe change. We're
We're going to keep the pants.
Keep in the pants the whole
Mm-hmm.
time. Don't ever take them off.
You're not going to like this.
I'm scared.
Katherine Heigl was in Bride of Chucky,
Come on.
which is like just an excuse to bring her in. Unpopular opinion. I love Katherine Heigl.
Extremely unpopular opinion.
She's so hot and bitchy.
Really? With like that jewel tooth on the side?
Blake likes
I
the
love it.
bitchy ones.
I love it. I love it.
But
does
she
it for
doesn't
me.
like look like a
She does
bitch
it for
though. She
me.
just acts like a bitch, and that's not
You
your
don't even
normal
get the
flavor.
fun, crazy bitch. It's just
Yeah.
like, just bitch.
I'd give
Totally.
There's a difference.
I'd give her a chance.
Maybe
mean,
she's not that
But if
bad.
we're gonna talk anything Bride of Chucky or Seed of Chucky
Like
or
Jennifer Tilly.
I was gonna say like Jennifer Tilly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And it's kind of the same thing as the
Love
Sherry
Jennifer
Moon
Tilly.
zombie situation where she's doing more of the
of the villain
Yeah.
side.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, that's
But like needs to be mentioned.
what about Naomi Watts from The Ring?
Oh.
She looked good.
She did.
She's
That movie
cute.
was pretty freaky.
All right.
Yeah, that kind of messed with me.
And like kind of like that, I was looking for a way to use Elijah Dushku.
In any way you can use Eliza Dushku.
I would Dushku some crazy things to her. She was in Wrong Turn, and I'm not that familiar with Wrong Turn. I think I've seen it, but I get confused with another movie, and it's not Joyride.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Joyride was so good.
That was good.
Was that movie hot?
Is it hot enough to be a horror?
No, it was a horror movie. It just wasn't sexy.
Did it have
enough.
hot moment? Was that Steve Zahn?
Yeah, that was Steve Zahn.
You know it's hot. It's Steve Zahn. Isn't it?
Paul Walker's the main guy.
Yeah.
We're like, Steve Zahn?
Steve
Oh,
Zahn,
you know it's hot.
So hot.
So
Yeah, it was hot.
Oh
Steve
yeah,
Zahn.
Steve Zahn hot. Wasn't Paul Walker in that movie? Yeah, but Steve Zahn.
Oh my god,
don't sleep on Steve.
That is so where I would go with
Steve
that.
would love this conversation. Mila Jovovich, like she was in The Fourth Kind and
Oh yeah.
Resident Evil movies.
Yeah. She was
Any-
great in
anyone gonna go
Resident
there?
Evil movies. I was thinking about her, but only from Fifth Element, which isn't that, horrific.
Oh, that's what I was thinking
not
of.
horror.
But she's
No,
been in plenty
can't
of
do a
other
stamp.
horror things. But all I
You
think of
seen
her
her
was like,
whoring around.
see
Just
her
another horror things.
whoring around Hollywood.
That's so awful.
HORRING. Whoring around.
Surprised no one said Jamie Lee Curtis yet.
Oh, she has to be on the list.
Not so much for Halloween.
Has she been in any?
Because that
I
just
thought
wasn't
she
her
was, like,
role.
young.
But Prom Night.
Oh,
Prom
night.
night. Yes.
She was,
was that a
hot.
sexy movie?
Yeah.
Much sexier than she looked in The Ween.
Halloween. She wasn't like set up to be sexy.
No,
She
but
was just supposed to be screamy.
Can we just talk about
There's-
True Lies for a second? Because I resurrected a 20-year-old boner like a week ago when I caught that scene from True Lies.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
And
fun.
She does like the little strip tease for
It does
the
it for
secret
me
agent
in
slash
2020,
husband.
just the same as it did in 96.
Mm-hmm.
Same results.
She looked
Tyler's
good,
got that
man.
look like he's like, oh yeah, I've been there.
Oh, I've spanked to that movie so many times. Just to that scene, really. That was the only thing we're spanking
and
to.
I'm done
Yeah.
with True Lies.
Very spankable
Scene's over.
scene.
Yeah.
Ooh, most spankable scenes.
Ooh.
Coming next.
Ooh,
Oh.
most spankable scenes. Well, that's kind of what we just did before.
That's this is horror edition. But
Oh,
Yeah.
I see.
there'll be different versions.
Remove
of
the
spankable
horror
scenes.
tag.
I couldn't tell you how many times I spanked
that
at the
would
mall
that
rats.
would be on the
This
top.
is a
That would be on the
segment.
top of the list for True Lies. Do it slowly.
Turn around.
Sexy.
Six. No.
No. Huge nomination. I'm thinking top 5 for Ollie Larder from Final Destination movies, Resident Evil
Been in a
movies.
bunch of
She was
stuff.
in Obsessed,
Oh, yes.
House on Haunted Hill. And if you don't know who I'm talking about by now, she was also who famously wore the whipped cream bikini in Varsity Blues.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Never forget that scene.
Top of the list. Right next to Christy Swanson.
Final Destination.
It's very
She was
similar.
cute,
You
too.
got a little type over there, don't you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
We're starting to learn a lot about ourselves
yeah.
here.
If The Shallows counts, Blake Lively, she can get a nod.
Oh my god, stunning!
I'd throw it to her.
Oh, Halle Berry, Gothica, what's up? Where you been?
Oh,
Where's your
my
minds
God.
at?
Swordfish.
Not horror.
That's all I think about Halle Berry, though.
He's like, oh, what are we
Swordfish.
talking about?
You're talking about Halle Berry. I'm thinking swordfish. I'll tell you that.
he's just thinking of like Halle Berry's parts.
Yeah.
Alicia Cuthbert.
Oh, Girl Next Door.
Yes. She was
The
also
Ranch.
but she was also in Captivity.
Kind
A
of scary.
very rare scare.
Yeah. A rear scare.
And for that, we could put her in the pool. This isn't even a list anymore. This has gotten out of control.
Top 50.
Courtney Cox was hot in Scream.
With those bangs.
Put her down.
Put her on the list.
But seriously.
The hair almost ruins
Rose
it.
Byrne. She was in those Insidious, or one of the
What?
Insidious.
She was.
Insidious
villain?
2? No.
Oh no, Scream Queen.
Insidious 3.
One of the Insidii,
Yeah.
like Rose.
Love Rose Byrne.
Amber Heard. John Carpenter's The Ward.
Missed that one.
It's missable. But Amber Heard isn't.
Yeah. She's pretty hot.
Yeah, she's pretty hot.
She's pretty hot.
I feel like horror, that genre is like perfect for her.
Yeah. Yeah. She needs to stay there.
Let's go more into
Go
like
there. It's
the shows. Like we can go into American Horror Story. Obviously, Emma Roberts. She's deserves an honorable mention
Been in a few things.
yes.
as a rising star.
Yeah.
But Billie Lourd, would she count? I guess she's not really Scream Queen, but she is because she's in.
Yeah,
the
she
horror
would
stuff.
be. And yes.
And she counts. I mean,
She should definitely count.
Which is funny because
No
Sarah
nips
Paulson
yet.
wouldn't.
mm-mm.
Sarah Paulson wouldn't. Not for lack of sexiness, but just for lack of not being a Scream Queen. Like you can't even just.
She's
categorize
always the
that.
madam. She's not
She
like
is
the,
always the madam.
you know, she doesn't open
It's
the
like
door
trying to
to
put
being
Kathy
scared.
Bates.
in
She's
that
in
thing.
Misery and
Yeah.
American Horror Story.
Kathy Bates
like,
is not
That's
scared.
an actual queen. That's like a different category of those girls. Angela Bassett was awesome.
she's hot.
I love that.
Okay, so like villain hot. Kathy Bates hot.
Kathy Bates in
Hashtag
Misery.
Kathy Bates hot.
What was the one that she was in where she caught the intruder and locked him in the fireplace? It was like he was going to try and, you know,
You sure it's not Misery?
is that Misery?
I think you're thinking of a part of Misery. If I had
That's a
to
different one.
say if there's anything, I'd say it's his knee. Snakes don't exactly have parts.
Classic Kathy.
Well, Blair, you've been a good sport and talked a little about
Yeah,
a lot of
talking
girls,
all these-
sexy scenes,
Lots of hot ladies.
Yes.
and you
Sweet
struggled.
gals.
You struggled a little to help us think of the hot ladies, and I understand why.
Yeah, it's hard.
And you're probably thinking of the horror movies where like there were some hot dudes. Are there
Yes.
any like?
There are some.
Should we flip it around and like, were there any that you thought of in our journey of thinking about
Well, we
the hottest
mentioned
screen
like
queens?
idle hands before, and anytime I can mention Devon Sawa,
Just
I mean,
shout out to your lady boner for Devon Sawa, your eternal lady boner.
Eternal flame.
Yes,
No love for Seth Green in that? You don't like Seth? He was
Didn't
pretty
quite
hot.
do
next
it.
to Devon Sawa.
He was pretty
didn't quite
hot.
do it as much as Devon, but I see where you're going. Christian Bale, obviously. You said American Psycho.
We did. Yeah,
He had a very strict regiment.
He
that
did.
was
we discussed it.
complimentable.
I mean, I just feel like it's worth mentioning, but Macaulay Culkin was like a little bit older than me, and the good son, I mean, he was pretty hot when I saw it. I was like, I was young. I was like, whoa.
It was just because he was a bad boy, or
He
you
was
just
bad,
Wait,
real bad.
So you thought he was a better looking kid than Elijah Wood?
Oh my God, Blake.
You like the
Really?
bad boys, huh?
Elisha was way too sweet for me.
Yeah, exactly. You like them bad boys.
This surprises me.
Him and that hair.
Wow,
I mean,
that really
Macaulay was
surprises
just
me.
like, boy, you bad.
You bad boy.
Oh, you're so bad.
Dropped your sister in the ice. It's
He-
hot.
You're so bad.
You're so
hot.
unpredictable.
You're trying to kill your mom. That's hot.
This is Mr. Highway.
Get a mop and bucket.
Oh, it's so awful.
Claire's got the wop for Macaulay.
No, do you know who was hot? Was Ryan Reynolds in Amityville Horror?
That's a legitimate
Jacked.
answer.
He was like sweaty most
That's
of the
a legitimate
movie.
answer.
The whole time cutting wood.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Just keep cutting. You look great.
Yeah, he was radically jacked.
He was just pissed and enraged and just like.
No, that's a good one. That's a solid answer. I could stand behind that.
That makes this list.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. No, you're on like the right track here. I'm trying to like help you out. The only ones I could think of are like
What do you think?
more like old school, like the OG, like Johnny Depp. You could use him because he was in the
And
first.
What, Edward Scissorhands?
No, well, hold on,
Well,
that
hold
scary?
on.
hold on. But I
kinda
was
scary.
thinking the first Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh.
So he's already in for that.
Obviously.
But you could argue Edward Scissorhands. That's not
Like,
a horror movie.
That's
That's not a
scared?
horror
Nah,
movie.
it's
That's not
That
fantasy.
attic was terrifying.
it makes us
Would
look
you wanna
badly
sleep in
if we
there?
call that
It
a
was
horror
a scary
movie.
movie, but it was not horror.
No.
I know.
No.
No, my brain shouldn't have gone there. It went there.
For the same reason, you can use Kevin Bacon in the first Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
Didn't even have a Jason, but it did
Oh, it was like
have a
to
Kevin
say
Bacon.
River Wild. He was pretty hot in River Wild.
Suspense. Hollow Man. Now you're closer. Hollow Man
You
for
get
sure.
to see all of his bacon bits.
You did.
Rourke was pretty hot if we're talking of River Wild.
Rourke.
John C. Reilly had a nice little
You guys
thing going in that.
You guys are straying so far.
Off the path.
And Rourke and John C. would love to hear this conversation
To
right
hear
now.
how
They would
hot
love
they
to
were
know
in
that they
River Wild.
made this
If
like
I meet
sexy
John C.
horror
Reilly,
movies
you were so
list.
fucking hot in River Wild.
He'd be like, I made a horror list for what? A
I don't know if
sexy
you've
what?
heard something crunchy, but episode 55, so fucking hot in River Wild. Let me just tell you.
Top 5 Scream Kings ever.
You made my list. Matt Bomer. I remember him mostly from American Horror Story,
Yes.
but
Yes.
what else was he in? Texas Chainsaw?
Yeah, I think that was the
Jessica?
same one as the as Jessica Biel.
The beginning.
One of the
the one
Texas
that you know
Chainsaw
best.
There was somebody else in that
Most
movie besides
familiar.
Jessica?
not that I remember. Yeah. The drill instructor from Full Metal Jacket. He was in it.
Oh, what's his name? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Come on, man.
Been in everything.
Not Forrest Whitaker.
No.
Oh, Blair
Forrest Whitaker
Forrest Whitaker.
was not in Full Metal Jacket.
The drill instructor from Full Metal. Oh, Forrest Whitaker. That's the most random thing you could have possibly said. I can't even think of anything more random than that.
Are you thinking Phenomenon there?
Oh my God, Blair.
Oh my god.
Drill sergeant.
You guys, I can totally help
Full
with
Metal
this
Jacket.
conversation. I got it.
Totally know what you're talking about.
It's Forrest Whitaker. So hot.
Not Forrest Whitaker. Since we are talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Matthew McConaughey was in it. You might want to mention him.
McConaughey. And you mentioned Buffy.
We did mention Buffy.
Wasn't Ben Affleck in Buffy?
In the movie?
Luke
In the
Perry.
movie?
No, Ben Affleck was in it too.
Was he really? Oh, he was.
In David Arquette.
And Paul Rubens.
Man,
Whoa.
it's a hot movie.
So hot.
We should watch that movie again.
I love that movie.
I'm feeling
Remember the pants?
ready for that movie again.
The pants?
The pants are worth it alone. Well, let's move on to our track of the week.
Yes, please.
We've got a good one tonight.
I'm excited.
This track was written about a real conversation between the artist and her father just before he went to a state penitentiary for drug and alcohol-related crimes. She was only 8 years old at the time and asked him to please get sober for their family. To this day, he has kept his promise and remains clean. Out of Fresno, California, this is Kenzie Rose with I'm Not Superman.
Baby, can you hear me through the phone? Daddy, he loves you, but he won't be coming home. I'm not Superman, I've got a lot on my hands. Baby, I love you, don't ever forget, it's just that I'm not Superman. I've got a lot on my hands. On my hands. I've got a lot on my hands. Daddy, why would you make mommy cry? She was scared for me and worried about me. She's not a man, she's got a lot on her hands. What you did wasn't right, so now you have to fight to get clean for me. We know you're not Superman. You've got a lot on your hands. I know what I did, it wasn't right. If I can turn back time, I would. 'Cause I'm not Superman, I have to earn your love again. Earn your love again. Baby, just know your daddy's coming home in a month or two to be with you. I'm sorry, I know what I did wasn't right, and now I have to fight to get clean for you. Honey, I love you, and baby, I love you. You're my world. You're my world.
Kenzie Rose,
So
bringing the
good.
pipes.
He can sing.
How could a song
So
so
good.
sexy be so
I
sad?
know.
That was a damn good song, though. She is very, very talented.
That's some-
Yes.
Thank you, Kenzie Rose.
Some deep lyrics, too. Good stuff, Kenzie. Thank you for that.
Come back next week when Crunchtober continues. Things are only getting crunchier from here. Our most popular episode to date from this time last year, where we unveiled Something Crunchy's top 5 most disturbingly violent, fucked up, too gruesome to watch horror movies. And I'm still recovering from the research.
We're not doing that again.
We joked how it was 6 weeks of therapy inducing research for like a 15-minute segment. So with that in mind, I'm thinking this year, if you haven't done it, listen to episode 12. You reach out to Something Crunchy maybe crunch_cast on Twitter, somethingcrunchy@gmail.com, at somethingcrunchy on IG, or our Out of Control Facebook group to tell me if I missed something that needs to be watched. If there's a real contender to knock out a flick in the top 5, send me the title, and I'll see what's up. Any updates or edits to our list we'll discuss in the final episode of Crunchtober. Until next time, don't ever forget to live your crunchiest life.
Be crunchy to one another.
Please don't forget to subscribe, like, follow, and all that crunchy good shit. Thank you for listening.
Swordfish.
Not horror.
Not Forrest Whitaker.
No.
Oh, Blair.
Forrest Whitaker.
Forrest Whitaker. Well, this episode's fucked.
This episode. Is it bad?
I'm just saying, I won't be seeing the Texas TCU game tomorrow.
Oh, Blake.
How dare you?
You do that face.
Stay calm like the kid back here.